Hey guys, this was not a planned video. I just was watching a clip of a European Masonic lodge, and they say this is the first time they've ever opened up the lodge to have videos done, and because of that, I end up seeing this logo on this guy's chest. So, you guys, if you've been around the channel for a while, you guys have already heard testimony stories. I worked in the Nashville music industry from 1998 until 2012. When I went to Nashville, I went there with the intentions of getting signed with TobyMac and Goatee Records. I even made myself homeless on purpose, jumped on a bus in Georgia with no place to live when I got to Nashville with the intentions of being able to sign with Toby. So the address that they had for Goatee Records was on Church Street in Nashville. While little did I know that the Church Street wasn't the downtown Church Street, and it was Church Street out in Brentwood. So I wasn't anywhere near where I was supposed to be at. I was a good several miles away from where I was supposed to be at. And then Toby ends up moving Goatee to General George Patton Drive in Cool Springs. So, I've been around the group for a long time. I babysat Truett, which is Toby's son that passed away. It's an awfully odd coincidence that when I approached the quote-unquote Christian rapper named Ricky B, who I happen to know is inside the same clique with Petty D and Stacy and Sharon from Grits and the Montreal Derritts and the Mike E's and the Neo Soul guys and the guys that were popular back in the day that aren't popular anymore, those guys. So when I went to him and accused Toby of being a Freemason, almost instantly Truett had an overdose and died. It's quite an interesting set of situations, because when I approached Bethel in Redding about them being Freemasons, then baby Olive died. So this is how chaos magicians work. Here's an example. John Bavard, I don't know how he pronounces his last name. He's one of the pastors that was speaking to Bethel's BSSM students, and he shows a video that's called The Cliff. Well, the Cliff video is talking about that there's a blind guy. There are two students there that could warn the blind guy not to go and walk off the cliff. And so this video is now connected to Bethel inside search engines in Google. Well, prior to this video, several years prior to this video, there was a BSSM student that was pushed off the cliff by other Bethelite students and sued Bethel because they didn't call 911. They ended up climbing down a 200-foot bank trying to pray the guy to be healed. And so now this video that's called The Cliffs will now appear in the search engines more readily than the story about the students pushing the other student off of the cliff. So this is how chaos magic works. So when I come with proofs, hundreds of proofs, that TobyMac and his son Truett, because Truett's doing the same Freemasonic habits. If you go and look at the one-eye symbolism in his stuff, the same one-eye symbolism that TobyMac uses. If you go and look at the octagon that we've already exampled for the Templars, Truett in his video is wearing an octagon. The people are in the woods, so inside, what's the scriptural thing? Not woods. What were the druids hanging out in? I can't think of what the actual name would have been for what they were doing. So Truitt was burning black candles during his seance. Essentially, that's what he was doing. He was doing a public seance and having people watch the public seance. So we've already shown in the past that this logo right here is the Venturian Man, which makes it into a pentagram. He also has all of his fingers, okay. The past video, we went through all of the things about this logo, except for... Eek. It went from black to white. Sorry, one sec. Let's try this one. We are going to look at the letter G. Do you see the letter G? That most definitely is not a letter G, correct? That is the letter Vav. That's the Hebrew number 6. Next to it, can you see the letter O? Can you see how that letter O is designed? It kind of looks like a snake's head eating its own tail. That's the Ouroboros, however you pronounce it. The next one, the T, that's the Tau cross from Freemasonry. Because we see the G is the number 6, the other two number 6s are the other two E's. If you take your phone and you're looking at this video right now and you put your phone, the top of the phone, up against the mirror inside your bathroom, you will see where the other two 6s are because they're doing inversion magic. They're doing as above, so below. They're doing the mirrored image of the 6s. So within the 666 is eternity of Freemasonry. Okay? The rest of it, there's another video that explains all the rest of the goatee stuff. But see how he's got his arms and his legs out in the big X? See how this one was a former roster artist lands acquisition of Goatee Records, CCM magazine. See the rays of light? We're starting at 1 minute and 22 seconds into the New Order, Freemasonry and the Knights Templar, a new order.
75 years ago, the Freemasons established their first lodge in Germany. The fraternity's elite have come to Hamburg to celebrate the anniversary. For the first time, a camera has been allowed to film their ritual meeting. Normally, such assemblies are off limits to the outside world.
Higher quality. Playback speed. Get rid of that. Boop. Recognize the man with his arms and his legs out in the starburst within the letter X. The X, the sun worship. The black X, the Antichrist, with his two fists up in the air for his signs of rebellion. TD Jakes has a logo with its legs spread out like that too. So remember when we showed Bill Johnson using the hand sign of the Worshipful Master over and over and over again? All these guys are doing are Freemason everything. Every bit of it. 100% of it. None of it is not connected to Freemasonry. For you were once in darkness, but now that you are in the light, in the Master walk as the children of light. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, finding out what is acceptable to the Master. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of those things which are done by them in secret, but are exposed, are made manifest by the light. For whatever makes manifest is light. So we already have Toby doing the hand sign of the devil. Then we got Andy Mineo and Jeremy Camp doing the same signs. Then we've got Joel Houston over here doing it from Hillsong United. We've got John Cooper of Skillet doing it. And we've got Amy Grant doing it in the middle of one of her concerts. This is at least 2 different times that they've had Toby pose with the Worshipful Master sign. This is the Masonic square and compass, same as Hitler. These are just a few of the times that Toby has done one-eyed symbolism inside his album covers. I'm still trying to get out of the habit of doing the thumbs up, because thumbs up is a Masonic symbol. It's giving approval. So, come on. This right here is David Harris Jr. from Bethel with Donald Trump standing in front of the fallen angel star symbology of the American flag with the yellow fringe saying that they are under maritime law. Yep. Hey, Lacey, I love you. Tell your brother I said hi. So, David's sister used to go to church with us back at Little Country Church in the 1990s, and his sister now still claims to be a Christian, but every single thing on David Harris Jr.'s sister's page, who claims to be a Christian, it's all New Age and witchcraft. I love you, Lacey. Come out of the deception. What you're practicing right now is not the faith that's inside the Bible. You guys took a left turn. You guys started reading that Choose Your Own Adventure book and never made it to the end, because if you made it to the end, you'd find out that you didn't go the right way. So, every time you see these thumbs up, you got to remember, Facebook's logo is Tubal Cain. It's the logo for Tubal Cain. Thumbs up inside Freemasonry. We get a thumbs up button. All the emojis that they're using have some type of an occult connection to them, whether it's the heart shape with the red and the resembling the buttocks of a woman, that type of stuff. There is an occult definition for those symbols that goes way back to Babylon, to when the confusing of the languages happened. The most basic signs and symbols are the ones that we get to see right now. They're the ones that are easiest to get people to program themselves with. That heart has become the symbol of love, but Jesus is love manifested in the flesh. That is love. Not the red heart that people associate with love and then connect it to every agenda that they want to push. So we have the X that was just on the Freemasons cross logo on the sunshine, logo on his stuff. This is considered the sign of the dead. This is Steven Furtick and Carl Lentz. These guys are all just telling you. That one is it Louis Giglio? These guys are just telling you who they are. That's Furtick's whole family. His daughter is most definitely telling you that she's in the cult of the X. Look at that face. There's a reason for all of this symbolism. For what I'm about to show you, you need to remember the Freemason praying hands and how that's Mason Betha from the Gathering Oasis in Atlanta. This guy was at Bethel. He was using them. This guy is promoting Bethel's Dream School. And he's got the Freemason praying hands, and they are catching the lightning bolt. Behold, I saw Satan fall from heaven like a bolt of lightning. The symbology is that the Freemasons are praying to Satan, and he is showing you the symbolism right here, but you're not willing to listen to the nonverbal language that he's speaking. This is when Bob Gall was speaking up in, what church was this one? It's up in, I think this one was Edmonton, Canada, Alberta, Canada. I don't remember which town it was in. Somewhere up in Canada. We already went over the Bob Gall thing and the Freemasonic praying hands. Remember these because we're going to show this as part of Goatee and what they've been showing. These symbols were inside DC Talks Jesus Freak. The IHS is the Isis, Horus, and Seb. That all has to do with the solar sun god worship that is inside Freemasonry. This is Toby's one eye symbolism. This is Shane and Shane showing you their IHS. This is where inside the history of religion video on Truth Unedited, part 70, at the 21 minute and 1 second mark, you will be able to see that this IHS is also inside Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma. And this is how it works out. This is what it is. It's just Aleister Crowley magic. Plain and simple. Same stuff. All the Jesuits are practicing the two-keyed, cross-keyed religion. What type of Baptist is T.D. Jakes exactly? What's that logo in the bottom right-hand corner, and why is he making that hand sign, and why does that cross have a solar flare around it? Correct? So, right here, this is when T.D. Jakes was giving his ministry over to his daughter. Check this out real quick. Looks like that's as big as it's going to let me open it. Let me see if... One sec. Alright, that's as far as it's going to let me open it. So, you see over here on the right-hand side of the screen, on the spine, underneath the hairline, the tattoo of the Ace of Spades. That's an occultic sign. Remember how everybody's talking about Kundalini? That's the serpent's head, and it is going up her spine to try and get her third eye to open. That's the symbolism behind that. But Gnostic warrior, the Ace of Spades, what is often called the Ace of Spades in Freemasonry, the symbolism of mortality, is represented with a spade, a coffin, and... Okay, so we have that part. You guys think the arms out and the legs spread open might look like... So let's go through a few more random things that are goatee related, Toby Mac related, Luciferian related. So when we used to put our hat brim over our right eye, it was because we were looking to the east. Remember, Jesus said that they would have their backs to the east, worshiping the sun to the east. So that was the reason we used to have our hat brims over our right eyes when I used to hang around with these type of guys. This one, Toby's touching his chin. Always one of those Masonic signs. Los Angeles Dodgers square and compass logo. That's what that is. You can't get away from it. Globe Earth programming by any means necessary. Let me show you that real quick. Globe Earth and how all of the New Apostolic Reformation keeps pushing that Globe Earth. Let's go back to that first video again. Come on, pause button.
To film their ritual meeting. Normally, such assemblies are off limits to the outside world. Worldwide, there are 5 million Freemasons. In some countries where the society is banned, members risk their lives when they meet. What kind of people are these Freemasons, who operate in secret and who have always been persecuted? What sort of knowledge do they take into their lodges? And why is the outside world kept in the dark about the organization? A hidden parallel world exists in our midst, one with its own special symbols and strange rituals. Historian Marian Fussell has spent years studying the Freemasons. He knows a great deal about the secret society.
Legends have centered on the Freemasons for centuries because members must not disclose what happens inside a temple. They've taken a vow of silence. Naturally, this provokes outsiders to come up with all kinds of suspicions and assumptions. So, it's hardly surprising that time and again in their history, the Freemasons have been accused of involvement in all kinds of dark deeds.
For as long as the Freemasons can keep you trapped inside this globe, you're not going to wake up to what's going on. Oh, that's no bueno. See how important the globe programming is inside Freemasonry? It's their basis. The globe Earth if it doesn't exist, the Masons don't exist. So let's keep going through what comes up when we put in Goatee Records. That's all I put in. I put in Goatee Records and we're in the images because according to Freemasonry, they are the people of signs and symbols. They speak with their hands and they teach with their feet. Guaranteed Freemason. Can't tell what that is, but most definitely not something that a Christian, a follower of Yeshua HaMashiach. Notice how the occultists are always wearing 2 rings. Not saying everybody that wears 2 rings is an occultist, but you should most definitely check out the theology that these people are teaching you when you start watching what's going on. This is the 20-year anniversary type picture, so these are the pictures of the girls when I was hanging out with them. So this is out of Eden. I used to go to church with the girls. I didn't hang out with them outside the church. Not this group. Wait. I may have hung out with, was her name Joy? I think her name was Joy. Might have hung out with her once. The other girls I didn't hang out with outside the church. But we went to church together for like 2 years and I sat with them all the time for church. So out of Eden, the group. Let's see. What else do we have? Here we have Ryan Stevenson doing his Worshipful Master hand sign. Here is Goatee doing Sun Worship and a 666. And it's orange, so that's another sign for Freemasonry. I've never looked at this before. Too blurry. This came out when I was hanging out with the girls, so I got to help promote this one. I used to have all the promo editions of all of these albums. See how she's doing her one-eyed symbolism and hiding her eye. This is also the Atbash cipher, and they're also all squares. Freemason, square and compass, they are squares, but this is part of the Atbash cipher. Toby. Now, this one is Goatee Records Video Vault 10 years and 21 videos later. And if we look at, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to look at the door on the left-hand side, and it looks to be a door to a safe. So, first we have the 1, 2, 3 dots at the bottom, then the one inside the middle, and then 3 more dots at the top. This is what all the Freemasons are teaching. This is what Bethel is teaching. This is the Kabbalah Tree of Life right here. But these are the 7 chakras. This is what Bethel is teaching. This is where all of this stuff comes from. All the planetary stuff. The plantains, they're really up in the firmament. They're rotating around, but the fallen angels have given these things special attributes that have given them personalities that are decipherable if you're inside the New Age, and the New Age and Freemasonry are the exact same thing. That's what Bethel World Outreach Center, where I used to work as a janitor at Toby Mac's church, they were teaching this stuff where everything is, we get to manifest everything. That's what these guys are teaching. They're manifesting their inner fallen angels. So this is Truett. This is Toby Mac's son. This is the video that he came out with. He's got black candles. He's out in the woods. That's what the Druids would have been doing. Crossing his arms. Wearing his octagon. He does this thing where he does his two hands with his fingers pointed up into the air where he's bouncing around. And then he's going to do this thing where he's got 4 different pictures of one-eye symbolism. The same one-eyed symbolism that Toby does, Truett does. Right after this. 2 fingers up. Pointing at his head, another Masonic signs. He's more all-knowing. He's met the devil in person. He gets to have his power because of the fallen angels. That's his as above, so below. He just made himself flip upside down in the video. From darkness to light. The light is the knowledge that he's giving you. See how he's pointing at his eyes? This starts off with 2 eyes that are completely separated. Watch what comes next. Then another set of eyes. Another set of eyes. And then we switch. And then we go to one-eye symbolism. That one. Darn, I did it again. Right there. Up. Alright, I'm gonna let it run. Devil horns. Showing he's more all-knowing. Look at the hand signs that these guys are throwing up. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That's another Freemasonic thing. The white, wait, watch. Wait. So, the hamburger helper. The guy with the white glove. Has to do with the Freemasons and their white gloves. That's the reason that Mickey Mouse wears white gloves also, because Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Freemason. See how Truett's holding his legs like that? That's the square. I will meet you on the square. This is a close-up. This is far away. From darkness to light. I don't know what the Vlasid Pickles have to do with fire on both sides. Don't cause your children to pass between the fires. The reflection symbology that would be coming along with the water. That's why they use the water features. That's why Bethel has their Bethesda's pool. Looks almost just like this outside of Bethel's Alabaster Prayer House. If you go through any of these lyrics, none of the songs, see how this guy's got on a Jesus a cross, but all of this stuff is them speaking in signs and symbols. They're speaking with their hands and they're teaching you with their feet. See how those are not regular candles? They are out in the woods doing satanic rituals and getting people that are thinking that this is Toby's kid and he's safe to watch. See how Toby has on the hat with the 3 stars? That's another sign for dualism. That's the 2 faces, the right facing and the left facing, the 2 faces of the Masonic Phoenix, and the right hand facing and the left hand facing the faces of Janus from the Greeks. That's the same stuff. Tri-R Sports, the triple star sports and entertainment, that is Lou Taylor from Calvary Chapel, Brentwood. Her Tri-Star Sports and Entertainment, she's the pastor's wife. My old pastor at Calvary Chapel, Brentwood, Rob Taylor, his wife, Lou Taylor, is about to go to prison for the conservatorship of Britney Spears, and her logo inside the Calvary Chapel system, her husband is over the Calvary Chapel in Brentwood. Her logo is 3 stars, and her 3 stars are the fallen angels that comprise what's going on right now. So they are going to embarrass Christianity by having Britney Spears' manager go to prison, who is also a Calvary Chapel pastor, because they are occultists. So in Goatee's logo that shows the 7 circles, this is what they're showing you. So in order to open the vault, to get to the knowledge, the inner knowledge, you're going to have to open up all 7 of these chakras. And we're looking at an orange cover again. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Every one of these quote-unquote Christian artists puts out Christmas albums, and if you use the Bible as your guide and you understand that we are not allowed to participate in Christmas because it is a pagan ritual and has nothing to do with the Jesus of the Bible, then you see how all of these rebellious artists are all putting out Christmas albums. You will start to see who the cult is. It's the cult of Saturn in this situation. Remember on the chakras, Saturn was one of the chakras. Remember that we've already learned that a square within a square is another representation of a Freemason logo. So I'm just guessing that the diamond within a diamond would also be the same. The Great Awakening, that has to do with Saint Germain, Lucifer, the New Age, and all that stuff. This would be another of Goatee's projects. Aaron Cole, who released on Goatee Records, and he's doing his Freemasonic hand sign. That's Tehran doing his one-eyed symbolism. See how their background is all squares? It's not the black squares, not in this one. Red, black, and white are the colors of the Templars. And their lives be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Remember, we already showed Ryan doing his worshipful master, and he is the eye of the storm. And right above the eye is an X. And it appears to be a little orange X. So this was supposed to be Goatee Brothers Erase Racism. A project to eliminate racism. So they put a negative of a black guy and a white guy over the top of each other, which is the right face and the left face of the Masonic Phoenix. It's another, they need the two sides of each of these people's brains for them to have a whole thought. If you'd like to see the breakdown of Goatee Records logo, go and find this picture inside our video descriptions, and there is one that says Goatee Records logo examined, and it's got this picture. Go and watch that video, and it will explain to you the breakdown of what these occultists are doing. This is why I told you guys to remember the Freemason praying hands. Goatee Records, 365 days of inspiring media with the Freemasonic praying hands. Once again, what is that, a globe Earth behind him with the little lights for each of the cities or something, possibly? But he's got his, and on his chin doing his Masonic symbolism, red, white, and blue colors on SoundCloud. Goatee Records, Cochran and Company announces upcoming release while using the Worshipful Master hand sign. Goatee Records announces new artist Joseph O'Brien with one-eyed symbolism from darkness to light. Stacy has turned the New World Order upside down. Right? And they can't stop telling you who they are with their hand signs. When they say, peace, peace, then sudden death and destruction will fall upon them. The guy on the right-hand side, stage left, the one with that he's holding his elbow, that's a Freemason hand sign that means that they're going to meet on the square, that I'm going to always tell you the truth, that we're going to meet under our obligations of Freemasonry. See how the capital kings also changed their A's into chevrons. They are not letter A's, they are chevrons, and they are using a three-pointed crown that is broken into two pieces. So if you turn that thing sideways, it's the number 33 because it's the number 3 in two pieces. Or if you turn it the other direction, it's the number 13 because these guys are all Templars. And the number 13 talks about their rebellion. But this hand sign right here, see how if we put in Freemason holding elbow, we end up coming up with Paul Revere showing his hand sign, and this guy over here. Yeah. doing his hand sign. It's saying without words that they are Freemasons, that we should be looking for other symbols within their organizations that will tell us who they are worshiping, which is Lucifer, including Toby Mac. So, Gotee Records announces sophomore LP of Capital Kings. Remember, the X is the sign of the dead, and the sign of the dead has something to say. The thing that he's got to say has to do with one-eyed symbolism. Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. And the worthless shepherd is blind in his right eye, and his right hand is shriveled, which is why we keep getting one-eye symbolism from this group. Here inside this one, we are all messengers. See how they changed all the A's to chevrons and all the E's to number 3s, and how they are as above, so below. Same occultists. So the same guy that had the X logos over his mouth, he has something that is hidden. We've got all these Masonic pillars going on right here with Aaron Cole. Here we've got Stacy doing his hand sign. Ryan Stevenson, who we've already shown lots of other hand signs from, doing another Freemasonic, that little, I believe that one has to do with the spear that went into the side of Jesus. You guys remember how the I am movements, the I am a little god movement, is part of Freemasonry? It's the doctrine of Lucifer, I am a little god. If you look at this list of Gotee Records, record label co-founded by Toby Mac, at home to go over to Cochrane Music, and then go right underneath it. That guy even made his name into I Am. That's rebellion against the Most High God, Yeshua HaMashiach. This guy's got his hand over his heart. That's a Freemason hand sign. You gotta remember that we're not allowed to use symbols for representing God. He said not to make any graven images of anything in heaven or anything on earth. And once again, the Dove Awards, the dove that they keep using, the logo, goes all the way back to Babylon. The dove's name is Uno. U-N-O. Uno the dove. And that's where this dove comes from. We are not allowed to use symbols to represent the God inside the Bible. He said not to. This is the rebellion these groups are doing. This part's going to be hard for me, because I consider Mike a good friend, not just a friend. So, my friend Gary from Atlanta drew the original artwork for this. When Mike was looking for cover art, Gary drew comic book art, and the characters just didn't look right. So, I was around when this album was coming out. So, we're still talking about notaverbs, but we're going to go over here to Freemason, Dung Beetle. This all has to do with Scottish Rite Freemasonry. The scarabs, when we see Paula White when she tells us how great her husband is and that he's a member of the rock band Journey and how they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then he goes on the Better Man Conference with Brian Head Welch. And the Better Man Conference, if you go and watch our videos, is connected to Freemasonry. And Journey's logo are these dung beetles, these scarabs. So for his entire career, he's been telling everybody that he's a Freemason based on the logos for his albums. And we have this scarab equaling dung beetle going on, right? Then we have Notaverbs has this song that's called Dung Beetle, and it's featuring Pigeon John. That's not good. Hey John, long time no talk. So that's John. See the logo that he's putting over his head? Remember, this is supposed to be a Christian music. Call of the Dung Beetle by Notaverbs. This is Bonafide and Coffee and Pigeon John. Bonafide and Coffee are grits, and that's who sang My Life Be Like Ooh. Okay, so the lyrics say, and remember, this is a Christian album. This is Notaverbs. Misery not exceedingly known consciously, doesn't like being alone but loves company. Blah-dee-da-dee-da, blah-da, blah-ta, dweedle. Let your eyes be deadened to the calling of the dung beetle. This is inside a Christian song. You're not the same dude I used to know. You're not him, 'cause you've been acting different since you've been hanging with them. You were the coolest one I knew, most distinguished of the pack, but now you bug with beetles and invest in something whack. Me, the third person, I like the first version, then you switch styles and compiled with dung coercion. I guess you're feeling the points of peer pressure. Never do what beetles do, even if they sweat ya. Old principles, it's like you never had a need for. You're the one on my list, deeply intercede for. Hey, let your eyes be deadened to the screaming of beetles and all the mess that they tread in. Okay, now remember, this is Bonafide. This is Teron Carter from the Christian group Grits. Quote unquote Christian group Grits. Aw man, there she goes again, blocking my vision. Her plan to see my death by any means, the mission. One glance could speak the blaze I left extinguished back when she had me trapped in the pleasures of sin. I must refuse to give in and take the kingdom by force. But of course, oh, the tempting her voice of silk blend, aroma that of Egyptian musk, if you will. Did it dance before my eyes to one of our favorite tunes, reminding me of what we had and how it ended so soon. Gravedigger, steady looking for my corpse, I assume. Mesmerized, gazing conscious as the fall, she disappeared in thin air. Her name in smoke floated there, Dung Beetle. So remember, this is a Christian song, right? So then we go back to Verbs doing his chorus, and then we go to Coffee, and Coffee is Stacy, which is Stacy Jones from grits. So this is another quote-unquote Christian person doing this one. Verse 3. Embark upon journey of gigantic magnitude, proportion, and purpose, worthless as a porcelain purpose if your visions, service, divisions, surface, eating everything like acidic mass, a prolific cast and crew. I gotta grasp on the realization of Christ. Do you glitch on the computer screen, catching wreck like a burning train, making computer scream, making commuters scream to make it through this dream, a minor altercation from circumstances, envelop dung beetle at it again, formatted with pictures developed through evil swarm. That would be that bee symbolism from Freemasonry, I assume. I will not be conformed at all. Exemptions, my redemption from mating call. Then we've got Pigeon John coming in, and his verses are, wait, without a care, Vaseline in my hair, debonair, here snare, super clean, and I'm bare, unaware of the 7 factors, got more than you. Why do you need to follow? Why do you do what we do? We enter the room, boom, never too soon, ready to bloom, while the drones creating more clones that we consume. Alex the Great stayed young and beautiful without hate. We set trends while we bend to popular states. Wait, while they drink vodka, I take my girl out to lobster. So you got to remember that lobster is one of those things that we're not allowed to eat. It's on the do not eat list. So Pigeon John isn't trying to subconsciously tell you that you're allowed to eat lobster. Interesting. Why would I ever imitate an imposter while I'd rather emulate and conform to God's Son while I mash out and gnash in my EV1 like skirt, and then note of verbs.
No misery, not exactly, no consciously, doesn't like being alone, but loves company.
So that song, according to people who call themselves Christians, is a Christian song. Alright guys, looks like I'm hitting the 1 hour mark, and I probably should go ahead and post this. So it's completely off the cuff, had no plans of making this video to begin with, and this is the result of just speaking to you guys. So, love you, stay safe, stay away from these occultists who are calling themselves Christians.